When I was a little kid, I remember seeing all the crazy shit that people did. So I learned quick, and I learned fast, that people learn from the mistakes of their past. I remember thinking, their knowledge must be so vast that it should cast a shadow on their own stupidity. But then they do the same stupid shit again, and again, and again. Hell, they'd even do it with a grin. Then they bitch and complain that life is so insane. Well, you know what they say about insanity. It's doing the same stupid shit, expecting different results. Understand we're all human beings and we have our faults, but we should draw the line when it's all our fault. Well, I've already had 3 DUIs, officer, but I swear, it's not my fault. So I've learned to sit back and watch, sit back and listen, think of other people's mistakes before I make a decision. Why should I go to prison? Just cause that's where you're sitting? You act like you wanna be my teacher, but you're more like a detour sign to steer me clear of imminent failure. I'm the tailor of my own fate, and if you could only look through my eyes, you would realize how pathetic you look as an open book where every page is a foreshadow of a battle you've already fought. You can't teach what's already been taught. Why? Because I learn by example. Such an example you've set. You are my sample. Such an amazing teacher. Just from watching you, I've learned what not to do. I learn by example. Such an example you've set. I am your pupil. Such a horrible teacher. I'm still waiting for you to set a good example. I don't beat my wife, I don't pick fights, and I won't let my children out of my sight. I don't steal, do pills, seek thrills, and I've learned not to kill, but don't let that make you feel safe, cause I've also learned how to get away with it, make it look like an accident and make you disappear without a sin.
Hey, have you seen Bob in a while? No, I saw him pack his tins, so I think he's on a trip.
My childhood was rough, but no one can say that it didn't make me tough. All the lessons I've learned turned me to the man that I am today, cause I wasn't taught how to be a man. What I learned is how not to abandon the ones you love, and above all else, abuse, physical or not, is no excuse to submit. The glove don't fit, then don't make your children pay for it. I've also learned your greatest asset is your mind. That's why I find it hard to believe that people would leave it to the mercy of poison. I've long made my decision that I won't ruin anyone else's life under the illusion of drugs. I've seen it my whole life through, and it's pathetic. If you only knew what I knew from watching you, would you still do the shit that you do? I know it's too late for you to change your ways. You've already lost so many days and your brain is stuck in a haze. But these are just some of the ways that I learn by example. Such an example you've set. You are my sample. Such an amazing teacher. Just from watching you, I've learned what not to do. I learn by example. Such an example you've set. I am your pupil. Such a horrible teacher. I'm still waiting for you to set a good example. I know not everyone will like this song, because it will make them reflect upon all of the wrong they've done and who it is that they've become. It will make them think of what kind of a role model they are to their son or daughter. Is it one that'll grow or one that'll falter? Is it enough to show them the right way, or will it even alter their dismay? Don't get me wrong, not every lesson I learn comes from someone else's wrong turn. It's the lessons through the heart that allow these black clouds to part. If you are fortunate enough to have a loving family, there's much you can learn to set you free. But unfortunately I see it's just too easy to teach through generosity. So we must revert back to days of old. Don't do as I do, do as you're told. Don't do as I do, do as you're told. Don't do as I do, do as you're told. Just do as I do. Learn by example. Such an example you've set. You are my sample. Such an amazing teacher. Just from watching you, I've learned what not to do. I learn by example. Such an example you've set. I am your pupil. Such a horrible teacher. I'm still waiting for you to set a good example. I know not everyone is like me, able to learn in verse. And even when they do it in verse, meaning they see the good and they make it worse. And of course there are things I wasn't shown, things I had to learn on my own. But it's through these things that I've grown into a force to fear. That's why I'm here to deliver a course of how to veer off the beaten path. My task is an unselfish one, is to spare our children the wrath that bears down on everyone around the world, threatening to drown us all while we're watching our morals fall. Cause no one thinks of anyone else at all before they make such a foolish call that through example could involve us all. This is Examples
it's time we learn how to set one.